Yeah, well, without question, I mean, the Lincoln Cent series is the most widely collected series.
Oh, yeah.
First struck in 1909. There have been 3 major reverses.
Correct.
You know, the Wheatback from 1909 to 1958, then the Memorial Reverse, 1959, celebrating the 150th anniversary of his birth.
Correct.
And that was through 2008.
Right.
Then they had the 1 year, that 2009, they had those.
Yeah, they had 4 different reverses to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth.
And then in 2010, folks, they have the new 3rd reverse. So there's only been 3 major reverse designs in this series. Beginning in 2010, they have the Shield reverse.
Right.
And we have with us today the artist, one of the great artists of our time, who designed this 3rd reverse, being struck since 2010, of the Lincoln Cent series. And the story she has to tell about the symbolism of this design, I mean, it's captivating, folks. Yeah. You're going to love the time we have, the short time we have together with this great artist. Jack, would you please introduce her?
Let's welcome Lyndall Bass. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lyndall.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming out here.
Thanks so much.
Boy, what we have, first of all, Lyndall, we have these 3 designs you were explaining to us. And where should we start, Jack? With the shield design, you know, because I noticed the curvature. You were explaining how you felt the traditional shield was a little stiff, but the reason you were first inspired was because this was basically the designs that was on the buttons of the Union soldiers.
Yes, that is how I picked out this particular shield shape. Once the coin itself became a selected icon of the shield and the banner, it was all about how to do it to make it interesting. It's a very spare design. Should I hold one of these up?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So I'll start with the shield. Shields can be all different shapes from Roman times to American history, and what I wanted to do was create a shield that was more of a common man type shield. So I started looking at Civil War buttons. And, you know, we were talking earlier, the penny was a very emotional assignment. I had 13 different assignments, presidents I didn't really know really well, and so on and so forth. But when it came to the penny, I already loved the penny, and I wanted to do right by the penny. So I thought a lot about how to make this mean something. The shield itself, like I said, is relating to 13 stripes or the 13 colonies, the fact that Lincoln held our country together, that he prevented slavery, that he did not allow the split between the North and the South. So the effort to make this shield a slightly domed shape comes about through the curvature of the top. The central stripe is just a little bit wider than the stripes that go out this way, so it kind of curves. It makes it a little softer, a little bit more of that common man shield.
Almost like a sculpted effect.
Exactly, exactly. You kind of have to draw part of the sculpted effect into this relief because it is more shallow. And the sculptor at the Mint, Joseph Mena, understood that very, very well. So the second element here is this banner. And, you know, banners can be floppy, they can fly in the breeze, they can do all kinds of things. And I wanted this banner to be strong. I wanted it to have a sense. And so you would never guess, but I looked at poses of prize fighters, of bodybuilders.
Really?
So one is up, the other is down, but it's muscular.
Wow,
it's a muscular banner. And the 1 cent in the drawing, you may be able to see that the lettering gets slightly larger as it goes out from 1 to the end of the T there, from the 0 to the T. And that idea shows up on the penny, particularly the one where the 1 cent is enhanced and polished. It comes forward.
Let's see.
Yeah, it comes forward from the banner.
This, you can really, it's really obvious.
Yeah, the enhancement, you really can see that.
The one kind of moves back, and the cent kind of slightly moves forward. So there's a twist as if it's moving.
Right. So they're not all the same. Exactly. So it's rolling across with the ribbon there.
It's rolling. The idea being that Lincoln reestablished trust in the currency money isn't money unless it moves, and everybody has to trust the value. And so that was what I was thinking, and I was really trying to pack as much meaning as I could into what Lincoln brought us. What did he do for us? He kept us together as a country. He kept the North and the South from dividing for all the wrong reasons, and he abolished slavery. So constantly thinking about these things and how to turn a very simple, very spare design into something that wasn't simplistic, that had meaning. And hopefully it gives it some gravity.
Yeah, this is what I mean, folks. When I introduced Lyndall, is that the symbolism, the thought you put into it, you know, it makes to me a very, very, very special Lincoln cent, because it's such a great match to the obverse of the coin, because it's what Lincoln was all about. You know, the memorial reverse was great, but this is what defined him. He really held this country together, and he was a great president. In fact, you've got this original etching you've done of him, portrait. You said that this was taken from a photograph of him from 1864.
Yes, I felt very caught up with Abraham Lincoln. I felt very emotionally involved with him, and I just naturally, being a studio artist, wanted to do a portrait of him. So I started looking through photographs from that era, and I chose a photograph by Anthony Burgess, who was an assistant to Matthew Brady. So,
and Matthew Brady, just for you, he's the one who took all those famous photographs we generally think of when we see those photographs of Lincoln.
Yeah. So I decided to do a portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The original is a graphite, and these prints, I created a limited edition of 250, and I was able to just really put myself into this portrait as an artist, and it was a very nice personal ending to the whole process. I did it after the penny was selected and produced.
Right now I am just admiring the subtle emotion you caught in his eye there. I mean, that has to be the most difficult thing for an artist to catch. Folks, you see that look in his eye, there's a subtle emotion you catch in there.
Well, you said this photograph, this image was taken from you sketched this from a photograph from 1864. So this was right, towards the end of the Civil War, toward the end of his life. So you can sense the kind of gravity in his expression, like Rick said, especially in his eyes.
Now, when you were designing the reverse, this is very interesting because there's some curvature along the edges to, again, give it that sort of three-dimensional.
That's right, yeah. Joseph Mena was brilliant at understanding exactly what I was trying to communicate to him.
And Joseph was the sculptor who converted your artwork into a sculpture that then could be they could create dies and strike coinage.
Exactly. And my initials are on there, and Joseph's initials are on the opposite side. As the engraver, he's a staff engraver at the Mint.
Right.
So the shading was to kind of communicate with him about how I felt the form should be. And even though it's a very shallow coin, if you look at it, you can see that there is curvature back to the ground of the disc itself. So he was really brilliant at interpreting everything I had in mind and understanding what I wanted.
I love it. I love the new Lincoln cent. I love the design. I think, really, it's such a contribution to our country you've made, because this is one of the things I've always liked to tell our viewers is that one of the reasons I love United States coinage is that they are daily reminders of who we are as Americans, American people, and that's what we've gone through over the hundreds of years. And your shield reverse design is so eloquent, it just is a perfect rendition of what I'm trying to, tell the viewers in this shield and what it means, and that this is almost a replica of in a way, the actual buttons that were used by the Union soldiers, and that was your original inspiration for this shield.
I actually looked at them to get the shape and to get the mounding And to prevent it from looking like a Roman standard bearer type shield, you know, it really should be an American shield and not look like Captain America, you know, and have some real history to it. So.
Right, have some gravity to it, not something cartoonish,
Right.
but something
Not
with some
cartoonish.
seriousness to it.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that you were saying how you chose the inspiration from the soldier's button because that was like representing the everyman shield. And the penny to me, like Rick said in the beginning, we started collecting this as little kids, which so many of us coin collectors do. It's kind of the everyman coin as well.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So I love that. I also love the marriage of the old and new as far as the process of starting with because what do you use, charcoal or how do you
pretty much pencil, charcoal. It's all drawing process.
But then you end up with, as you were explaining, lasers and computers, and it's the most high-tech possible thing. But you're starting with doing it a way that they could have done it hundreds of years ago.
Absolutely.
So I love that marriage as well. Lyndall, you were saying how it really makes that banner stand out on the enhanced because the 1 cent is in the different finish and that brilliant finish against that satin background.
See, there you see the reverse proof, folks, and there's the enhanced finish.
Whereas in the reverse proof, it's all kind of one image together.
Yeah, right.
It does give it a different feel.
Yeah, it really does. You can really see the difference in that. With the 1 cent lettering is really obvious with the enhanced finish. It really stands out. Yeah. Lyndall, I want to thank you so much for coming. Really,
You're very
really,
welcome.
really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so
nice
much.
Nice to meet
Appreciate
both of
it.
you. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Lyndall.